Are you sure about those figures? $2.42 an hour for unskilled labor?
$1.70 in cash and 72 cents in fringe benefits.
Who cares about his fringes? Let's tell him we want it all in cash.
Yeah, you tell him. There it is.
Once, Albert, I felt like you do. It's a terrible hunger, this famishing for flesh. It's the kind of hate you can smell deep behind your eyes, like the fumes of a match. But I've given my word and I'll do my best.
Well, you should be proud.
You wish you were doing it, don't you?
Yes. This is no way to send the doctor off. Besides, it might be our last chance anyway. It may take less time than the 72 hours, but it can't take more. They made that clear?
They made everything perfectly clear.
Even what happened to the others before you when they got close?
Particularly that. They showed me photographs.
Doctor, you forgot your bag.
I don't suppose you've read Marcus Aurelius lately. In his time, he had the power of life or death over most of the civilized world, yet he was capable of writing these words. The most complete revenge is not to imitate the aggressor. We haven't come far in 2,000 years, have we?
With the luggage, please, Bartlett. Whatever you got in there, I sure hope it don't eat much, because if it gains any more weight, it won't be able to fly back in. 205. Can do, Eddie?
You could have a live alligator in there as far as I'm concerned, as long as he and the rest of the boys here don't add up to more than 1,500 pounds.
Okay, Bartlett, you can load up out there. Okay, you look on the bed, hop on. All right, we'll step down. Murdoch, you don't have anything in there against regulations, do you? Like, say, booze?
Who needs it? You're drilling for offshore gin, aren't you?
That'll be the day. Fielding.
You know him?
I don't think so. Maybe I've seen a picture of him someplace. Maybe in the papers. Anyway, that isn't what I was thinking. He looks out of place.
Or how are you supposed to look when you work on an oil rig? Like a bum? Murdoch.
Stateroom 3. Stow your gear and see Jenkins. He's the roustabout pusher. He'll give you the word. You draw the 12 noon tower for a starter. Good to have you aboard. Carson?
Right.
Fielding. Drill is sure going to be glad to see you, Fielding. He's been short of floor man all morning. Ever work on a rig before, Bartlett?
No, sir.
They did tell you in New Orleans what a roustabout does.
Yes,
Could be rough.
I know. I need the money.
Fair enough. See Jenkins. He handles the roustabouts. Stateroom 3.
That's Thompson's sack. He's on the midnight tower. But we're going to switch things around on Friday, so you'll all be working the same shift and sleeping at the same time.
You mean working and sleeping at the same time?
Everybody gets one joke when he comes out.
And you just went 1 over quota.
You can stow your gear in one of them. Number 1, that's Thompson's locker.
Why not?
Down a hall is a storage room, compartment C. You can put your suitcases in there. You boys had your lunch?
About the seats in the lunch hall, has Thompson staked one of those out too?
In there's plenty of room for everybody. First come, first served.
I'll brief him, Mr. Jenkins. Somebody already has the lower. We thought we might take those too, so there's a locker. Mr. Jenkins said we were supposed to unpack and put our bags in a room down the hall.
Oh, well, I can't do that. I need this with me.
Look, if you want to change in private, why not use the bathroom?
Yeah.
That's the drill floor up there. You being know-and-all, there's a lot to learn about rigs. Like mud. You know what happens if we don't pump mud through our drill? We're liable not to have our cuttings brought back up the way we should. We can ruin a bit in just about the time you've been goofing off, Mr. Bartlett.
I'm sorry, I just came up to get a drink of water.
The next time you work in the mud room, try the fountain in there. We keep it good and icy. You thirsty too, Stiles?
Mr. Thompson. Saved the place for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think I know you fellas.
Murdoch.
Hi.
Stiles.
Hi.
Stateroom number 3.
Oh, sure thing. You must be the other lower.
Upper port. Your upper sitting opposite you. Mr. Bartlett, Mr. Thompson.
All right.
Locker number 1.
I'm pleased to meet you fellas. I never did care to know a man just by his snore. Of course, old Jenkins says he's putting you all on my tower Friday. That way we all ought to get to snore together.
Say, tell me, how come there's so many guys aboard here? We were told it was only 23. I mean, 7 days off and 7 days on.
We get to overlap 3-4 times a year like this week, whenever we get a deep one.
Deep one?
Yeah, anything over 12,000 feet. No, then we get both crews aboard. Every man jack who works the rig, 46 of them. And that's why it makes it hard to get a seat at the 5 o'clock feed like this week. But don't you worry, this jam up will be over by Friday noon. Half the men will go ashore and everything be back to normal.
So are we supposed to sign that pad, too?
Eat your sign. Let him pay it for it, ain't it?
I thought mud was supposed to be soft and soothing.
Here, try some of this.
First day?
Second.
Roustabout?
The most accurately named job I've ever had. Our pusher has rousted us over, under, around, and about.
You'll get the hang of it.
I don't know. Mudmen, roughnecks, pipeliners. It's a different world.
Don't forget the monkey board.
Monkey board?
Yeah. Straight up, 125 feet. It's no bigger than 2 of those wash basins. Derrick man works there. It's the best job on the tower. You got time, you come on out. I'll show you. Ask for Palmer.
Thanks. I'm Stiles. What damn fool put this here in my pocket? Let me see it. Ooh-wee.
If that's supposed to be funny, somebody tell me where to find the joker who thinks so. What'll I do with it? I could just throw it in that trash can right over there. These were people.
You mean you can't throw them away? Why not? They're dead.
And why don't you try it, mister?
Bartlett, about that picture.
Oh, I shocked you. I'm sorry.
No. You surprised me, even earlier than this morning. I didn't sleep very well last night. I know where the picture came from. I saw the letter, too. I saw you take the dinner list and compare it with the handwriting in the letter. When it didn't compare, you looked like somebody kicked you. And then the picture turns up in that fella's pocket. Why?
You must have been dreaming.
Shall we go up to stateroom 3 right now, look in your bag, and see if that letter isn't signed O?
You shouldn't have done that.
I was pretty ashamed. Until this morning.
If you can't understand, at least be understanding.
Of a stunt like that?
You don't know the reasons. Todd, if I may assume the familiarity, forget what you saw last night. Not only for the sake of the nameless dead, for your own sake, quite possibly for your life. Not that I threaten you, but I am here with a legacy of embitterment, an escort of ghosts calling upon me to do what I detest, what I must. I'm lucky. I hope your life is long, that you never know the blistering forces which sear and destroy, turn men into enemies and sweep them beyond the last frontiers of compassion. Once you've seen that dark, unceasing tide of faces, Faces of the victims bent to the ground. A last spark of dignity so obliterated that not one face is lifted to heaven. Not one voice is lifted in protest, even as they die. Once you've seen that, you can never again close your ears to the silence of the slaughtered, no matter how hard you try. I have tried. Even thought I'd succeeded. But you see me here now, and I can't turn back.
Bartlett! Stiles! Anybody tell you boys we're on a tight schedule around here? Stiles! You want me to go roust that paint for you?
Don't resent Mr. Jenkins. Be grateful for him. If he is what he seems, he has every right to be concerned with paint and oil and sacks of drilling mud. He's one of the lucky ones, Todd. One of the sane ones. In a world of gigantic insanity. Go on. Go.
Mix the paint. Let one of the younger fellas shinny out there.
My name was on the detail, wasn't it? I'll be careful.
You keep a firm grip on the handrail and don't look down.
Well, maybe we are on somebody's list. Then why won't he tell us who?
I don't think he knows.
See, there are no fractures, Mr. Bartlett, but the X-ray will tell the rest of the story. And I think you better turn in, I'd say, for the rest of the day. Okay with you, Vic?
You know it, Doc.
I told you it could be rough. You gotta watch it every second.
This was no accident. I tried to get some of the planking when I was in the water, but it was washed away. Mr. Hansen, it broke too clean to be an accident as soon as he put his weight on one end of it.
That's a pretty hairy accusation, Stiles.
That's not what happened. I slipped, tried to grab something, and the platform gave. It was nobody's fault.
Buzz, you saw it.
Yeah, I saw it, but it happened to Mr. Bartlett. Not to you, not to me, so he ought to know how it was.
Well, you take it easy till morning. Half the crew's going off at noon. Things will settle down. You need anything, you let me know, you hear?
You must have been in the war, or in Chicago in the 30s. Machine gun? Well, I think I only have one possible prescription. I think I'll let you pour it yourself. Take your time. Stop in and see me tomorrow. All three of you, huh?
Mr. Bartlett? Tod? Buzz? Yeah, don't mind if I do. Not too much, you know? Like Tod said, it broke clean. I saw it. No accident. Somebody set you up.
Now he says it.
Well, it looked like Mr. Bartlett wanted to play it cool, so I cooled it. Whoever you're bugging, he sure feels the hot breath.
There's not much time left for subtleties. Actually, I want the pot to boil. I was testing Hansen more than anything else.
And the doctor.
It's not the doctor.
How can you be so sure it's not?
His eyes are the wrong color.
This mystery man, don't you have a picture of him?
No, they were all burned. Even 20 years ago, he was careful. But I know his age and the color of his eyes.
Well, whoever you're looking for and haven't found, he's certainly found you.
And us. He saw us get off the copter with you. He knows we share the same stateroom, do the same work. And I'm willing to bet that he saw the three of us pulled out this morning by Hansen, together.
Don't you think we deserve to know?
The less you know, the better. One way or the other, this must end by noon tomorrow. Between now and then, see me as little as possible. Stay as far away from me as you can.
Mr. Bartlett, if someone saved me from a trip down the Gulf Stream, I'd show a lot more gratitude than you're showing. I'd break out the facts. At least, let people know what's going to hit them.
Facts? What are the facts about a man? Can you touch his tongue with a litmus paper and isolate them? Are the facts a radiated view of a man's rib cage? The leavings of Schutzstaffeln bullets? Hardly. But this is not what you want to hear. You want to hear that my name is not really Bartlett, but Daniel Torvald. That I carry an automatic pistol in my suitcase. Yet I teach, or at least attempt to teach, international law in Zurich. Currently on a lecture tour. Last heard Tuesday in Chicago, due Monday in San Francisco, but mysteriously vanished for 1 week. Reconstituted as Frank Bartlett, roustabout on an oil rig in the Louisiana tidelands. These are the facts. What do they tell you? Can they tell you how much of a man's life, how many of those who were his very core, escaped him forever through the smokestacks of Auschwitz? Facts are that the small change in a man's pocket to be jingled, spent on strangers. We are not strangers. And friends do not insist upon knowing too much.
Hi.
Where's Buzz and Tod?
Well, they'll be back soon.
Say, you fellas aren't planning on going ashore tomorrow, are you?
I'm not.
Well, how about Buzz and Tod?
I couldn't say.
Well, there ain't no sense beating around the brush about it. I got the word. Confidential. Some of the boys are planning on throwing me a surprise party tomorrow. It's my birthday. Now, I ain't supposed to know about it, but since I do, I just want to make sure the three of you all are coming.
We'll be there. Thanks.
I chose pancakes for the midnight feeding, and I feel like I swallowed 3 discuses. What do you call them, this guy?
Good night.
Oh, cigarette? Let me ask you something, Mr. Jenkins. Now, can you tell, just by looking at me, I mean, that every time that I eat this guy, that I get talkative and ask a lot of questions?
Don't show.
Well, now, you take that note on the bulletin board between the driller and his crew chief. It says that every time that you use a prong, you have to check the lines to make sure they're in tip-top shape. You check the spinning chain and the makeup chain and the back lines and the jerk lines. You know, I read that for 10 times before I gave up. Now, I wonder, could you explain that to me, especially about the jerk lines?
Sure thing.
Das, was ihr denkt, in dieser Stunde, unsere teure Heimat, unser teures deutsches Reich, Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil!
The 12:15 copter from Venice is now landing. There will be one more pickup at 12:30.
Got Thompson stashed away?
Why don't you get paper plates like I asked you? This'll leave one fine mess to clean up.
Is he still out there?
He's out on the starboard pontoon with Johnny fishing for yellowtail. Stop worrying. Is Mr. Bartlett here?
I didn't hear.
Hey, Palmer. Doc wants to see you before you leave.
But that is not what you want to hear. What you want to hear is that my name is really Daniel Thorwald, not Bartlett, and that I carry an automatic pistol in my suitcase.
You wouldn't have said it unless it were true.
Attention all personnel. The 12:30 copter is now landing. Attention all personnel. The 12:30 copter is now landing.
Hey, Doc, what is it? I'm in a hurry. What's this, a gag?
You've learned to talk like an American, haven't you, Reinitz?
Reinitz? Look, mister, you got your signals crossed.
If I've made a mistake, I've done you a terrible injustice, and I'll apologize.
But you can't just pull a gun on a guy and scare him half to death and then say, sorry, buddy, wrong guy. What do you want?
That x-ray table. Get on it.
If I do, then can I go catch my helicopter? I got someone waiting for me in town, you know.
If you're Otto Reinitz, a lot of people are waiting for you. A judge, a jury, a nation. Your head under here. Otto Reinitz was never brought to trial in Nuremberg. He suffered a concussion in a bombardment on the day the Americans captured him. The back of his skull was crushed and a steel plate had to be inserted. He escaped from the hospital 15 years ago.
How did you know I was here?
You sent a letter.
He was my first teacher. He would not betray me.
He was an old man. He died and neglected to take your letter with him.
You needed an x-ray to uncover me. I saw through you at once. Your kind give off a smell. A smell of fear. Subservience.
Yes, I know. If I smell of fear, it's because I've been afraid many times. If I smell of subservience, it's because I am subservient. But not to you, Otto Reinitz. To myself and to what I've learned to believe in. I'll pick up that suitcase. And open it. Pull out this drawer. Take that plate. Put it in the suitcase. Lock it.
We're going to leave together at 12:30. We'll simply walk out and board. The gun will be in my pocket, but trained on you. You will get in first and sit in the last seat at the back. When we land, others will meet you, arrange for your care and transportation. I'll pick up that suitcase and walk to the door.
I don't believe you can do it.
I ask myself the same question. Have you got the nerve to find out?
Attention please, all personnel. The 12:30 and final flight is now loading on the upper deck.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Thompson. Happy birthday to you.
Mr. Bartlett, we looked all over the rig for you. You told us to meet you in the engine room. You didn't show.
I left my suitcase in Thompson's bunk. We know. There's some shirts I never wore, a few ties, not very good ones. Do what you wish with it. What next? You never saw us leave together. Not Otto Reinitz nor Daniel Thorwald. You walked Bartlett and Palmer to the plane. Saw them take off together, arm in arm, for a weekend somewhere.
My name on it. Birthday's my new name.
I'm sorry I can't take your hands, but I'll think of you both very often.
Right in the bunk above me. How about that? After all those years, they finally got him. They finally pulled him down.
in a Screen Gems film presentation from Columbia Pictures. Herbert B. Leonard, executive producer.